Welcome at Cape Kennedy. Okay. I don't think they call it that anymore. Hello, and welcome again to our monthly Lafayette Parish Master Gardener program, In the Garden. Today we're in the garden with the Junior Master Gardener program, Miss Candy Bienvenue, who's got that all figured out for us, two lovely extra guests, and we're going to talk about what these kids are doing, and it is awesome. First, some quick announcements to make. May 9th, Second Saturday Garden Talk is going to be in Youngsville at Church Street Bayou Church. Joe Dimovich, certified arborist, talking on tree selection and care. The 16th, this is a new date for our Southern Garden Festival. That's Sarah and Harold Scheffler's benefit for Family Promise of Acadiana. It's going to be a great one this year. On the 19th, we have our third Saturday Garden Talk. That's at the R. Nelson Horticulture Center, 10 o'clock in the morning. Tony Hayes, a certified arborist, also talking about pruning trees. On the 23rd at 11 o'clock at Vermilionville, we have the Healing Traditions of Acadiana, and that's Rebecca Henry. She's a folklorist, and she's going to be talking about Creole folk medicine made from the plants that are grown at Vermilionville. And finally, on the 30th of May, from 2 to 4 p.m., En Cuisine des Jardins Cook-Off. That is the culmination of this Junior Master Gardener program. We are so proud of this. This is an awesome, awesome program that the Master Gardeners have done. Candy, tell us about it.
I'm so excited about this program, Peggy. We have found a program, Junior Master Gardeners, that correlates garden activities with the curriculum. Every teacher has it. We are now in 10 schools teaching kids from first grade through high school. And what we did this year was we found out that kids who can teach kids, we know that they've learned it and the kids learn it. We do it with a kickoff in September. We have kids doing activities. Charles Burke did hamburger plant. We have Alice Boucher did touchy-feely, where they learn about soil. They've done the Nature Web. St. Thomas More Options kids did that, where they learned that we are all connected to the earth and how important plants are.
What a very, very special program. It's time to bring our kids back and teach them about the wonders of nature, and especially through our school system. That's so important. And today, I know you brought along a guest, and that's Celeste Hayes. She's from the Lafayette Parish school system, and she's going to help to describe what we're talking about today.
Yes, she is.
And also from our city, Molly Richard, who's with the Farmers Market. So this is a total collaborative effort.
It takes the community to teach the kids. We just get them in the garden, get their hands dirty, teach them concepts. We've had Celeste come into school to teach about My Plate. They've learned about insects. They've learned about when to plant, when to grow. And what we have found out is when they grow and they harvest, they love to eat what they grow.
And how much better than all the junk food they get their hands on.
They like it.
Candy, tell us, how did this program first start?
This program started, it was designed by Texas A&M. And they have correlated with the curriculum to teach science, math. They have arts, they have language arts, writing skills, they have music. And we introduced it in the community at our first Plant Fest in Youngsville. We just opened it up to everybody.
And how was the response?
Great. The parents were involved, the kids were involved. They've made hats, they've made scarecrows, they do nature masks, terrariums, they learn about the water cycle. They had a great time. We did it each month. We present activities and in the schools. And then this year we held our first camp, our 2-day camp during spring break for kids that don't have gardens in this school.
And how was that?
We had so much fun. I probably had 13 different master gardeners teaching each different lessons.
So pretty much sold out.
Sold out. We also do, part of this program is the service learning, where they learn how to donate some of their produce to...
So important. Volunteerism at that age, what a great gift to give a kid.
Right. And so we are going to continue this program both in the schools and in the public. We're going to have it at our Fall Plant Fest October 3rd.
Okay.
We're going to have activities for kids to come out, probably make terrariums. Again, hats is a big thing, Mother Nature masks.
And then you are working now with how many schools?
We work with 10 schools. We've grown to 10.
And all throughout the parish?
All throughout the parish, from first grade at Green Tea Linden, we didn't know how that was going to go, all the way up to Northside and Acadiana High. We've been able to have a greenhouse constructed. The kids are learning to grow plants from seeds.
Now, where's the greenhouse built?
The greenhouse is at Acadiana High.
That's awesome.
This year in the spring, they all sent over their little cups of seeds that they planted, and then it came back and they planted it in their garden. But we wanted a culminating activity to connect all of the dots, and that's when we came up with En Cuisine du Jardin Cook-Off.
And that particular program, En Cuisine de Jardin, which is where we're going to talk about that today, what the kids are going to do, that's a program that was designed by our Master Gardeners?
It was designed by our Master Gardeners.
Right.
Wait, Celeste Hay and Molly Reshaw. We've had many, many meetings to get this program together.
Well, let's talk about it.
Great. It's going to be again on May 30th from 2 to 4. We will have tickets to the event if you want to come. They're $5 and they'll be available at the door. But what it is it's a hands-on cooking experience using the vegetables grown in their garden, and also local produce, which we'll talk about, they'll probably will need, and knowledge of healthy food choices, which is they have to make a complete My Plate.
Okay, so what is My Plate?
Celeste.
Okay, well, that's where I come in. So as a dietitian, it's so exciting to be a part of this because the kids are already interested in nutrition because they're gardening and because they have that hands-on experience. So what we do is they have the garden, they have the curriculum with their teachers in the classroom, and then I've gone into the schools and we teach My Plate. So we start off very simply with photosynthesis and what do plants need to grow and be healthy and strong. And then we tie that into what do people need to grow and be healthy and strong. And we talk about the connection between health and eating more fruits and vegetables, eating whole grains, eating produce, which a lot of the kids everywhere just aren't exposed to.
I know it's sad, but it's true. In our society today, kids are not exposed to, well, hopefully it's changing, but we're not exposed for a long time to fresh produce and fresh fruits. Now, is this from the first grade level all the way through high school the same? I'm sure it changes based on their knowledge level, but
Sure.
those first graders are learning this as well as the high
First
schoolers?
graders are so into it, and they have tons of questions. They want to talk about it. They want to engage the whole time. We even took some of the first graders and third graders from Green Tea Linden and did a grocery store tour.
Oh, that's
which
great.
was awesome. We brought them all the way around the perimeter of the grocery store. We talked about fruits and vegetables. We talked about ways to cook them. And so while we're there in the store, which is a familiar place, we're showing them new ways to look at it. And with the research, what it's really shown is that gardening in the classroom specifically, tied to nutrition education, is really what can impact children's preference and consumption of fruits and vegetables.
I agree with that 100% because I remember we had a speaker at Master Gardener several years ago who was talking about green learning. That's what his topic was, how if you introduce the concept of green plants and that they can grow them at a very young age, it will stick with the child through maturity. So I think it's wonderful that y'all are doing that.
Right, and we even get into eating 5 a day the color way, eating different colors of fruits and vegetables, so that way all of their micronutrient needs are met. And so this is something on the high school level we can get a little more in depth on a chemical nature, talking about the actual micronutrients and what those do in the body. And so it's really, it's very rewarding as a dietitian to work with kids who are so engaged because of the gardening aspect. And then with the My Plate, we also show them, okay, well, how should your plate look? Half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables, whole grains. We explain the importance. I think a lot of times there's messages about healthy eating out there, but there's no
Hands-on.
backstory. There's no reason why. So it's really exciting for them to take something away from it. With the My Plate, we point out, we bring in our school lunch into that and show what we serve on the menu at Lafayette Parish and how we have whole grains and we have fresh fruits and vegetables available on the menu. And then hopefully with the cook-off, we'll be able to menu one of the winning recipes to really tie it full circle.
Awesome.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whoever
so-
wins, maybe they'll serve their plate
Yeah.
for lunch one
Well,
day.
because we really want to make the connection of where their food comes from and why it's important to eat fresh fruits and vegetables and eat produce and be mindful of what's on your plate.
So with the cook-off, then, the plate that they prepare will have to have what on it?
So that's a good question. So as part of My Plate, half the plate is fruits and vegetables. A quarter of the plate is grain, which at least half of your grains should be whole grain. The other quarter of the plate is protein. And we even talk about healthy proteins, lean proteins, avoiding too much saturated fat in the diet. And then dairy is so important that it has its own special place on the plate. So that's what consists of the plate.
And where will the resources for these different components come from?
The guidelines are based on the USDA dietary guidelines for Americans.
No, but I mean, like, where would the children get the actual product, the products to create these?
Okay, so with the cook-off, at least 2 of their ingredients must come from the garden.
That's what I want to hear.
Right, okay, sorry about that.
That's okay,
So
I
at
wasn't
least
clear.
2 of their ingredients must come from the garden, and then the horse farm, it will be instrumental in really supporting that the rest of their plate is also local. And
Like the
locally
grains
grown.
and the proteins?
Right, well, the grains and the proteins, that may have to be procured elsewhere, but the
Okay.
rest of the produce will be local
And all the produce is local? Okay.
Right.
And so they're going to get some of their stuff from the products that they've grown, and some of it's going to come from our farmers market, right, Molly?
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that work?
So, well, the farmers market was just really excited to hear that this program's happening. We try and do as much outreach as we can for gardeners and then, future gardeners and potentially future market gardeners. So we're just excited to see that the food system is kind of just growing in vibrancy across Lafayette Parish at all ages. So this was a really exciting program to hear about. And we were excited to team up with the Master Gardeners to make this possible for the young people in our community.
And what are you providing to the children who are going to be participating in My Plate?
So we've given each cooking team, so each school garden team, a voucher to come and shop at the farmers market either on Wednesday before the event or the day of the event to pick up the produce that they weren't able to grow from their garden or that they never planted in their garden. Since they have to have half of their plate fresh produce, fruits or vegetables, and not every garden can grow everything. Hopefully some of our farmers can take on some of that and grow it for them. So we've given them all vouchers to come and shop at the farmers market, and just as you had the grocery store tour, we're just exposing them to another option of a location to get fresh fruits and vegetables in Lafayette.
Now, have the children been to the farmers markets yet?
They haven't,
a
officially,
group, right.
potentially with their families, maybe they have, but this very well could be the first time that some of these students experience a farmer's
So
market.
I guess you'll get to show them around and explain how it works and all that.
Of course, yeah, we'll give them a tour and make sure that they look at, good shopping technique is look at everything at the market before you make your decision on what you want to purchase and think about what you can cook with all of it.
Think about what you're growing and what's going to work with that.
Exactly. So, and then also give them the opportunity to meet the people who are growing it. That's now that they can see the whole process, they know what it's like to grow food, they can
farmers-
really appreciate what the farmers do too.
Farmers markets are really taking off in Lafayette right now. I know there's one at the horse farm, there's one in the oil center, and you mentioned earlier when we were speaking that downtown we're going to have a farmers market possibly?
Yeah, the Lafayette Farmers and Artisans Market that sets up at the horse farm every Saturday. We're starting our midweek markets up again on May 27th. So we'll have 10 midweek markets at the horse farm in conjunction with a concert series that's also happening at Lafayette Central Park. So it starts May 27th and runs until July 29th is the last
And so
Wednesday
that
of
would be on
July.
Saturdays?
That's on Wednesdays. Our
Wednesdays,
Saturday
okay.
markets are year-round, always from 8 to noon
Okay.
at the horse farm. The Wednesday markets will be from 4 to 7 p.m. at the horse farm for those weeks. And then for the 4 months after that, so between August until November, every single Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m. we'll have a downtown farmers market. So it's the same market that happens at the horse farm on
But
Saturdays.
just move downtown?
Move downtown for
And
Wednesdays.
what location will that be at?
It'll be at Parc Sans-Souci.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. It's nice to know that they're going to do something downtown too. And we are certainly appreciative of y'all participating in our Junior Master Gardener program. That's
course.
really a wonderful, wonderful benefit. Good community outreach there. So, Candy, what do you think they're going to put on their plates?
That's, well, let me just give you a little, they're going to have a little help, okay?
Okay.
They, it's going to be 4 students that are going to cook, but each student has a chef that's going to help
Great.
them with recipes. And we have local chefs. Some of them, you might recognize some of these names: Rick Malbec, Ashley Russo, Chanel Gandhi, Carl Bro, Mindy Prados. They're going to help them create something that they like to eat. And part of the contest, because it goes from first grade to high school, we want them to cook what's appropriate for them.
Right,
And
what
what
they're
appeals to
capable
them.
of.
As you can see, they share their produce, they love to eat what they grow. One school even put mustard greens on their menu because they cooked it a lot in school.
Wow.
I know. So we want them to cook what's appropriate. We also have elected officials as part of the team to help them, and some of them are sponsoring this event as well. We have Joey Durrell, who's going to help one of the teams, Jamie Abshire, Jared Bell, Kenneth Boudreau, and Purvis Morrison. We also have Conrad Como that's on there. So we're trying to get the whole community to understand what this program can do. It's more than gardening. It's more than math. It's just takes in everything: eating, health.
Now, how would the judging take place? They'll be judged within their own divisions?
This is our first year that we're doing this, and it's a wide disparity. So the judges, which Celeste is one of the judges.
That's a tough role to be a judge.
I know, you might want to keep that on the,
So Leslie, but you have to understand that, as I said, this program, because we modify for the age level, we want it to be appropriate. The children have to explain what they're doing. So what appeals to a first grader, they might make a little animal out of, Jell-O with carrots or something like that for vegetables and fruits, and high schoolers might be a little more complicated. We don't want it to be chef against chef.
Okay.
Okay, it's not chef against chef, it's each school against each school, but understanding that there's limitations. We have St. Thomas More, the Options Kids, and this program, what I've been told by the teachers, has done wonders for these kids because they now are eating healthy food. And the teacher just told me, she says, Candy, you don't understand. That's a hard concept for them, but they love to eat what they grow. And they have some limitations with how they can cut things and do things, but they know what they like. And once they learn it, they can teach
They
it,
want it.
instruct you, and they have to, the kids have to be able to explain what they did. And so we judge them on what they are capable of doing.
Now, how many Master Gardeners help you with this?
We have 10 schools. We probably have about 20 Master Gardeners, at least 2 to 3 Master Gardeners in each school. We go, usually a lot of us go every week to the school to help them if it doesn't interfere with testing. We do, again, a monthly meeting with them to teach them whatever might be going in the garden. I saw a picture earlier where it showed bugs.
Right.
So we do good bug, bad bug, and they didn't know that they had good bugs and bad bugs, or
Well,
they don't.
there are a lot of adults who don't know
Well, they don't
the
even know
bugs
when
and
you
bad
sit there and you show them like just a ladybug. They
That's
know
good
what an
one.
adult ladybug looks like, but they don't know what a larva ladybug looks like. And
Which
they
is a
think
little
it's
alligator,
which is- Right, so we do lessons on that, as I said.
Now,
We-
they're not using any chemicals, are they?
No, they
Okay,
do
all organic.
composting, they do composting, and we've had a hard lesson with composting because the schools are obviously big. You can only compost what you can handle. So we had several teachers, they give them a 5-gallon bucket, and they look at the menu and decide on the menu that day what they can collect that they can compost, and they'll fill that 5-gallon bucket. And it's an honor to get that bucket and fill it. And-
Okay, so when you say the menu, like, they're actually producing and eating in the schools?
No, the school menu, the actual
Oh, the school
school
menu.
cafeteria
Oh, and the
menu.
cafeteria
They
gives them
have
the
to decide,
produce.
they'll take it, they can collect just what's on.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
So they're learning, what can you compost? What can
Right.
you put in that
And it's
bin?
good for the school, too,
And they
to
go
learn the
through-
composting
exactly,
concept.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had
Oh,
one
that's
school, though, that tried to start collecting it all, and they realized.
Oh, it's way too much.
Way too much, way too much.
Yeah, that's a lot. But y'all built beds.
We build beds, some have raised beds, some have beds that are in the ground, not raised beds. Each garden is unique to the school.
And how did they decide? Did the kids get to decide what they wanted to grow?
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
all kids that get to, some grow in tubs, as you can see, it's all kids that decide what they want to grow, but they've had to learn, we do an activity in the Junior Master Gardener Program, some like it hot, some like it cold, and that is when do you grow vegetables in our warm season? And what vegetables do you grow in our cold season? They seem to like they do a lot of broccoli, a lot of cabbage.
That's good.
Mustard greens, as I said, we have one school, that was Charles Burke, who demanded mustard greens go on the menu. And,
Right.
That's
so,
awesome.
On the menu.
and they just find out that when they grow it, they've got pride, they've got invested interest.
I think what's so interesting about this program, too, is that it's so in-depth. And really, in a fun way, they are learning so many concepts, not just nutrition, but, I mean, chemistry, everything.
Right.
Environmentalism.
We had one of our kickoffs, when we were doing our kickoff for the beginning of the year, we had the high school students, along with the St. Thomas More Option kids, create a rap song on photosynthesis.
Oh,
They
wow.
had to describe what went on, and they sang it to every student.
That's
And
great.
it went over really well. As I said, if they can do that and sing and understand and teach it, they've got the concept.
They've got it.
And they can pass it along, and they all love to pass it along. We did another activity called Nature's Web, where you take string and you find out how everything is interconnected. And it was the options kids that did that program. Our first graders from Greeting Linden had an Earth Day, and that was their activity that they
Project.
shared.
Oh, that's so
So
wonderful.
they're passing it along to all
To
generations.
all generations. Celeste, I'm sure that the school board is having some type of reaction to this. They're loving this program?
Right. Well, really, with child nutrition and the laws that are in place now, part of our rules are to have more fruits and vegetables offered, more whole grains. Unfortunately, some of our kids nationwide,
I know.
their taste buds aren't there yet. So this program is really making an impact, hopefully, to where these students are now preferring fruits and vegetables or wanting to participate and see the value in eating healthy, and then they can be the advocates for change at home with their families and their parents, and go into the grocery store and making healthy choices and pointing out, oh, Mom, we
want
talked
that.
about this in school, I grew this, can we cook it? And it's getting, hopefully at home, the families are impacted, and we're making an impact on health by starting in the classroom.
Such a wonderful, wonderful program.
Yeah,
Do y'all see a
absolutely.
long-term for this?
I hope so, and right now there's tons of movement on the farm to school side of things. So it's very exciting to be in this role right now, right here, with everything going on. So it's really an exciting time to to be involved in the movement.
So one day, we may have some of these kids actually being farmers at the farmers market, which would be great. And I mean, we may see that before too long anyway.
Well, you know, we've actually seen, we have one school that has been in the program all 6 years, and this is the first year that these kids that are responsible for the garden saw the garden go in, and now they're stewards of it. And it is, they've known it all their school life. And hopefully, we can get it in all the schools, so they have respect and know the garden.
So I guess that's a good question then, Candy. How do schools find out about participating in this?
They can go to the LSU Ag Center website, and they have to apply for the grant. As it is a grant that they get that we'll help build the beds, we provide master gardeners.
But it's through the LSU
Ag
website.
Center, right.
Well, so I'm sure if there are any teachers out there listening who want to really put a spark in their schools, this is a good way to do it.
Right. As I said, we've grown to 10, and I'm not sure how many applications we have for next year.
Well, we
so.
just want to remind everybody that En Cuisine Desjardins Cook-Off, which is, I think I'm going to definitely be there, because this sounds like a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to see what these kids are doing. That's going to be Saturday, May 30th, 2 to 4 o'clock p.m., and that's at the David Thibodeau STEM Magnet Academy, 805 Turlings Drive in Lafayette. So, you know, this wonderful program, great thing for master gardeners, great thing for the school systems, great things for the farmers markets, and we got a real busy month. We want to remind everybody to get out there and go do everything. Make sure you do this one, and thank y'all so much for joining us on In the Garden with the Lafayette Parish Master Gardeners. Good to go.
Okay.
Very good, ladies. Goes real smooth. You did a great job. Yeah, I know. Great job.